So we got one here, taking a very interesting path. Let's go back on his path here, because there's no, we could see this as an incline. People want to say it's not an incline sometimes when you see these planes going straight up to the sky. Look at this, there's another one too. Because there's no airport from that direction. West, that's, almost towards, that's north and east. It's towards the ocean. There's no airport over there. That's north of Fort Lauderdale. So I don't know where, there's no international airport for big planes to be coming through. And take notice when you're looking at these planes, even the low ones, the colors on them, red and blue, you'll see how washed out the colors are. Look at this, what is that going through here? Another one, look at this shit. That's a bird? I think that's a bird. That's a bird. Yeah, but look how washed out the colors are. Even on the low planes, that lets you know that you're in the stuff. And we can see out here, there's spreading out all through there, all haze up through here, spreading out through there. So likely won't be a wipeout, a washout, but they're doing what they're doing. So what is it that they're doing? I didn't get in my comments. I seen someone ask something about what I think they're doing, and I don't necessarily think every plane is spraying. I do think that they doped up the fuel across the board using a high sulfur fuel or whatever additives in order to induce the contrails. So we got another one here with a dissipating contrail. So they definitely doped up the fuels to produce the contrails. And don't believe this stuff. They say, oh, we'd only do it in the stratosphere. And you can see this plane here. Where is it? It's washed out. They say we'd only do this in the stratosphere for geoengineering. Geoengineering includes a lot of things. It can include painting the roofs white like this. It can include painting the roads white. So that means it works on the ground, having reflective ability on the ground. So they don't give a shit what level this stuff is at. As long as from space, it's a reflective product. So it doesn't matter if it's on your roof, it's in the stratosphere, or where the fuck it is. They don't give a shit. They just want the planet covered. And essentially what it comes down to is just a multi-level thing where they're trying to, in my opinion, just disprove God, overtake any, or whatever you want to call God, the universal power, creation, whatever you want to call it. They want to prove that they could do it themselves. God didn't do anything impressive. They got to break down the population that there was some sort of spiritual being that created things and was able to have powers like that. So that's why they're trying to mimic whatever they can mimic. They're trying to, GMO food, splicing apples with salmon genes, they destroyed the food system. They're trying to overtake that. So now we're looking at the geoengineering, overtaking the sky. You want to look at the frequencies, the 5G, the cell towers. They're saturated the planet, so they've overtaken the airwaves in that respect. What else? As soon as you pop out, they're giving you a vaccine, so they're in your system just like that. They want to rule what's going on here. They want to show they can do it better. They're creating CERN and different machines around the world to find the God particle and how the universe was created, because they want to duplicate this stuff. They want to show that they could do it. There's nothing really special about a God that created something when you could do it yourself. So we know 90-something% of science is basically atheists, and that's what they're trying to do, disprove God. It's the battle of good and evil. They want to show they could do it better. Science is the key. That's why they want people just to say, science. You gotta trust science. It's consensus, which is all bullshit. because we know science is mainly funded by grants and universities and corporations that want certain results in order for them to keep sending you money. So that's it's not a truthful field anymore, and a lot of scientists know it and admit it. But it's an overtaken with the microchip, the artificial intelligence, the virtual reality. You know, they'll fuck this one up and they'll hand you virtual reality while they're out in space. You know, they're paying for us to bullshit out in space. They're measuring earthquakes on Mars. They still understand earthquakes on our planet that are devastating people every day. But people think it's cool that they're on Mars spending our money to know what the fuck happens on Mars, a dead fucking rock of a planet with God knows some water buried in it somewhere. You know, we got everything here, and these fuckers are taking the most intelligent people we have available, and they're putzing around in space and doing different stuff that you know, is never going to benefit us, and future generations will laugh at it. Science is to benefit them. That's for their exploration. That's for them to, you know, conquer what's going on outside there. That's not for us. You couldn't wish for any more than what's on this planet right here. You couldn't wish for it. You could travel the universe for God knows how many years and never find it. And these idiots got it right here. And they're beating the shit out of it. Got glyphosate covering most of the world. Most people have glyphosate in their system just from the air samples, urine samples, and whatnot. Got metal particulates in the brains from the England University study. You know, they're inside everything. They've toxified everything. The plastic is everywhere. That's what science gave us. They gave us toxic plastic. The big joke, plastic bags. You know, in the 60s, 70s, we were using glass. We were using paper bags. That stuff wasn't toxic then. Then we put all of these chemicals, and now it's like an ingenious thing to, get paper bags at the supermarket. You know, that's a circular mentality. That means we're going backwards if we're going back to using old technology that was better in the first place. So, you know, science gave you that. But science is going to fix it. The ocean's clogged up. The fish are fucking choking on plastic. The plastic, it's going from all around the world, not being recycled, being sent to places like Malaysia and Indonesia, where the Chinese are opening up shops. They're doing it dirty as hell, the processing, and releasing all the chemicals right back into the waterways of the Malaysian people. So a nice documentary on that. So, it's a bunch of bullshit. Anyone thinks they're not trying to warm the planet, you know, you need to research that a little bit too. There's articles, Jim Lee posted stuff back from the 1930s, 1920s, New York Times article, you know, to move the earth and melt the poles, to move the jet stream. They had plans to move the jet stream way back then. This way they can melt the Arctic and start opening up shipping lanes and getting resources up there. There's oil up there, the untapped land. Everything on the planet is tapped right now, except for up there. So you got Canada, US, Russia, everybody got land waiting to grab on there. And as soon as it opens up from any sort of melting, they're building right on it. They're dredging the oil and calling it Arctic colonization. And Putin just came out the other day talking about a new shipping route that's going to revolutionize everything, because now he can open up a northern shipping route rather than going through the Indian Ocean, which is what they've been wanting to do the whole goddamn time, is fucking melt the Arctic so they can open up shipping routes and do what they got to do up there. So as they call it climate change, and people go out in the street and want to pay taxes to help these people melt the Arctic, you know, it's just coincidentally melting there more than anywhere else. Florida, it's the same freaking temperature, very nice winter, mild, cool winter. Most places, same thing. But only there where no one has access to, it's melting, you know, 100 times faster. So, and then just recently they're discovering that there's volcanoes underneath the glaciers. It's like, come on. And then there was a miraculous glacier a year or two ago that NASA discovered is growing. It's miraculously growing. So there's no miraculous in science. Where are you saying miraculous now? It means because you couldn't calculate it, and you don't know what the hell's going on, and your story's fucking up. So, you know, climate change, yeah, it can be real, and you gotta be careful, because that's what happens with Wigginton and Naomi Wolf and whatnot. They're on the chemtrail train, they're on the geoengineering train, and you're on their train, and I'm down with some of these people too. But where they leave you off at, Wigginton leaves you off at the stop that climate change is real. It's worse than what's they're actually saying. It's 1,000 times worse than what they're saying, and you will end up being on the climate change train. Same thing with Naomi Wolf. She posts all kinds of chemtrail stuff and geoengineering, and then we got to save the climate and the climate change and this and that. I don't want to hear nothing about climate change while these fools are intentionally altering the sky. You can't do anything on this level and not get some sort of backlash result. Can't. Impossible. So they've admitted artificial geoengineering, accidental geoengineering all over the world. The American Geophysical Union, it's a known thing. The sky is lighter. It's not even debatable. And it's altering the sun spectrum coming to the planet. Every plant, every animal is getting a different spectrum because it's coming through this filter. That's been not there for thousands of fucking years, millions of years. So now all of a sudden, you can add this screen and the whole planet, every microorganism can adjust to what they're doing in 15, 20 years. So, total idiocracy. Trump, he's looking for results. He looks for numbers. He's in a 5G race with China. It's up for science and the health industry to inform him and to stand up for the public. I don't expect Trump to come out against, certain conspiratorial things unless he really knows chemtrails or whatever. But, he's basing his 5G information and all of this stuff off of these fraud health agencies and World Health Organization and all kinds of stuff. His own people. So, it doesn't make it any better. But we need, the education, science, and health industry to stop selling out. Got a plane way up there too, no trail. And that's when it might get better. And some whistleblowers can come out. Hopefully the Assange thing goes down. They bring Assange here and he just lets loose some dirty ass hearings. Drops the dime on everybody. And then possibly gets a pardon. That'll be the ultimate revenge to the deep state if that's, if that's Trump's goal. That'll be the ultimate revenge. But we'll see. I won't speculate on that. But no, they're trying to lock everything down from every direction. The media, the news. Thankfully, it's backfiring to an effect. Hopefully 5G isn't going to step in and dope people up more. But it's freaking shady right now. It is shady. Crazy libs running around, Crazy squirrels running around. Little Fluffy. That's Little Fluff McGee. Little Fluff McGee. What are you doing? Alright, people.